All right, everyone, there's a couple brand new Switch stories that just dropped that we got to talk about today, starting with a new Switch exclusive title that has actually received its first unveiled trailer, and it has an interesting story and is described as an action platformer, and it kind of caught my eye, so I want to go over it here with you all. Then the big talking point for today's video is some brand new issues that are popping up around game crashes, emulation issues, and even save data deletion happening when it comes to Nintendo 64, Nintendo Switch Online performance, and we got to talk about it so you know what to expect and what to do to hopefully not be affected by this issue. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we're covering a couple different stories today, and the first of which is one to do with a brand new Nintendo Switch exclusive game that got its first reveal trailer. It is titled The Company Man, and it actually takes some inspiration from the Office TV series as far as some of the story elements behind it, but this game actually did catch my eye as it is a 2D action platformer title, and just the gameplay mechanics and what is shown in this initial overview trailer actually looks very fun, and it makes me realize that, you know, it's one of those things that I probably haven't checked out enough games like this on the Nintendo Switch, and this will be launching in 2022. And to start off the discussion around the title, I want to quickly hop over to Nintendo Everything, where they have an article breaking down all the details of the setting of this game and what we know about it so far, and even when it'll launch and at what price point. Action platformer The Company Man headed to Switch. Publisher Leoful and developer Forest have announced that The Company Man, an action platformer and office adventure game, is headed to Switch. It will release in early 2022. The Company Man, which takes inspiration from the television show The Office, has you playing as the young salaryman Jim, who starts out at the Goodwater Company. He sets out to overthrow his boss and become the CEO as he's unsatisfied with how the company is run. He'll launch email attacks against coworkers with a powerful keyboard, run and jump across departments from human resources to marketing, and boost up with coffee beans. The Company Man has 7 corporate departments containing booby traps, quirky coworkers, and tough bosses. A couple of hand-painted environments include the air-conditioned icy floors in accounting and endless mountains of paperwork in human resources. Features include spending coins earned from beating up coworkers at the coffee shop for health and stamina boosting coffee beans, gauntlet dungeons where Jim is forced to fight wave after wave of coworkers, and various difficulty levels. The Company Man will be sold digitally for Switch via the eShop for a price of $19.99. So as I mentioned, this game just caught my eye because I feel like it's been a while for me since I've played an action platformer style game, and this one just looks really good and solid in terms of level design, the mechanics, and the core gameplay that we see during the trailer, and it has me excited to at least check it out when it does drop on the eShop in 2022, which, you know, will not be much longer. It sounds like it's an early 2022 title, and before we know it, we will be in that year already as 2021 quickly comes to a head, and I'm sure that there will be some funny story moments in this, as of course it's taking some inspiration from the Office TV series, and the classical guy trying to overthrow his boss or fight his boss at the end of the game I think is a fun storyline. If you guys were wrestling fans growing up, you will know that one of the biggest storylines of all times of WWF or WWE was whenever Stone Cold was in his heyday fighting Vince McMahon every week on TV, and everybody could relate to the idea of wanting to beat up their boss because of course you have to do things on a clock in clock out basis and do things you don't want to do, and so it was kind of living vicariously through Stone Cold, and it definitely resonated with a large crowd. And while I don't think that that's the exact story inspiration they're going for, I always think of that when I think back to somebody wanting to throw hands with their boss. Definitely some legendary moments that went down over history when Stone Cold was in the mix with WWF and WWE. But again, guys, I want to hear from you on all of your thoughts and impressions on The Company Man, and if it looks exciting enough to you to check it out at its $20 price point when it drops next year. Now, the big talking point for today's video is some major problems we're starting to see surface online, specifically around Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack and N64 games, and how there is most notably Paper Mario causing crashes in certain points of the game. And when the emulator does not shut down correctly, it has now been revealed by data miners that this can actually cause you to lose your save progress in said game. And there's even some big videos that are starting to make the rounds on Reddit from different users that are experiencing this, specifically with Paper Mario when you get to a tree in the game, and it will essentially just go ahead and force close the application, and that will potentially actually have a chance of erasing your save file. Now, to start off this story, I want to share the exact findings from Oatmeal Dome around why this issue is happening and why it actually could happen to other games outside of even Paper Mario. So let's quickly read through his tweets together. NSO N64, there's also this problem which affects all games where save data is only written to switch memory when the emulator closes normally. If the emulator crashes, then your save data may be deleted. You suspend points along with in-game saves. The emulator only saves when a game is closing properly. This is not necessarily a new process, considering some unofficial emulators does this too, so the fact that the game is really not stable at times is really a problem. You can then see on screen, of course, a video of actually this happening where the game crashes when you hit this certain tree in Paper Mario, and this particular user's data was actually deleted from the game, as he then showcases the fact that he reboots it and it is a fresh save file. So if you are in Paper Mario, and this is a longer type of game, like you're definitely talking upwards of 20 to 30 hours on an average playthrough, you could effectively get that completely wiped if you are not using the suspend point or save state points in addition to the save file. And it's ridiculous, and we'll talk through that more in a second, how ridiculous it is that we have to worry about things like this, but this is something that I want to put out there as a warning to you guys, especially if you are progressing in Paper Mario currently. In addition to that, there is some other data mining information that has come out that shows how Nintendo purposely reduces the frame rate in a certain particular boss fight that's in this game, and by doing so it causes some interesting input delay that can actually be an issue for when you are trying to time attacks and things like that. So let's read through that tweet as well. NSO N64 Paper Mario spoilers: the emulator enables another hack to purposely reduce the frame rate during one boss battle. This can make gameplay harder because PM's battle system is based on timing button presses. Of note, the Japanese version does not have this. Here's the code that Nintendo deliberately wrote to do this. First, there's a function to check if you're fighting the boss based off a number of parameters like HP. Then if you're in a battle and the boss check passes, it imposes a cap on the frame rate, frames per GT task. So firstly, I really wanted to share that information as a warning to everyone, especially if you are progressing through Paper Mario 64 and you're getting close to the points where, you know, there are known crashes that take place. You may want to make sure you are using save states frequently in addition to the in-game saves, so you're not surprised like this poor gentleman that walked up to the tree and then your whole file is gone. Or I think actually he said that he did use save states, so that's what saved his game. But I would be very upset if I'm paying, you know, the $50 price per year that Nintendo is charging for this service, and then 20 plus hours of my entire gameplay experience are just completely wiped away if I wasn't using that save state feature. And it's just one of those quality of life things we need to see Nintendo address with this service, especially considering the fact that we are all locked in for 12 months as people who have already purchased this expansion pack, and Nintendo has no skin in the game in terms of their update schedule and what they are consistently going to stick to. We are trying to guess what they will do based off a couple announcements we've gotten so far, with like we can at least probably expect one N64 game per month is what it's looking like, but we don't know that from Nintendo, and there's really just been a clear lack of communication and even effort into addressing some of the major problems that are out there currently, most notably with Ocarina of Time and input delay and the way the game runs and renders fog. Like, there's definitely some drawbacks to this service at this point, and playing N64 games as part of this service, and I just want to see Nintendo step up and do some more Q&A and slow down and actually really deliver consistent performance on all these N64 games with no input delay and lag and issues like actually taking you out of the experience that you want to be able to go happily replay through on your Nintendo Switch console. But guys, at this point in the video, I really want to hear from you on everything we talked about today. Let me know if you're interested in the company, man, as a game, as it is set to launch in early 2022. And then I really want to hear from you on your experience with N64 games specifically so far, and maybe if you're a subscriber currently, what your experience is, or if you've been, you know, seeing all these issues online and if this is swaying you away from eventually signing up. But I do want to hear what your experience has been, and what Paper Mario specifically, if you've encountered this crashing glitch, and have you lost any save data, or is it something that, you know, you think maybe a little bit more rare and you're not too worried about it either way. But I want to hear from you around all things Nintendo Switch Online in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.